From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
Portos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Oh, yeah, I'm righteous, all right. You know, if you pull my middle leg, it plays Hell's Bells. All right, happy hump day, my fiends. It is the last day of April, and we've got 2 more shows to go before I go on the old hiatus. But first, we are going to go on another action-packed adventure right now. Here's what's on tap on the Wrap. Do we have a new pope? I have some news about the Maryland dad you'll want to hear. Guess who the Democrats want to tar and feather now? How can you tell if somebody's lying? Stick around and find out. And who came to the rescue of the Kobe Bryant, Gigi Bryant Memorial? You won't believe it. Another round of head traumas on the way. We're going to play Pick Your News. We got our usual loose behavior with Sawed on the X, Celebrity Cheese, your email from our Gmail, one more thing, and we've got shout-outs to the Rat Nation and the Resistance. That's what's coming up today on the Rat's Ass Podcast, and we thank you for making time in your schedule for us. All right, Rat Nation is our listener club. It has 297 members, but we got to get to 1,000 before we can start having some fun, giving away hot tickets, cool trips, and cash. Now, if you listen and haven't joined yet, we call you the Resistance. But we want you to be one of the few and the loud. All you have to do is go to ratsasspodcast.com and check it out. We do not and will not sell or share your information. But we will, at some point, shout you out here on the podcast. I said shout, not shoot. That's the only danger you have by joining us here on the Rat's Ass Podcast at Rat Nation. All right, do we have a new pope? Yesterday, Donald Trump said he'd like to be pope. And naturally, the deranged Democrats went rat shit crazy.
No, Trump can't be the Pope. What the hell? He's the damn Antichrist. We need to take to the streets and make the Republicans pay. Sit on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and sing songs. We must stop Trump. We must. Now.
Yeah, Trump knows how to push their buttons. Loves to screw with these morons. And they bite every single time. But I'll tell you what, Trump's going to have a better chance of being Potpourri before he has a chance of being the Pope. All right, it turns out the Maryland dad, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, was accused of being an MS-13 gang member as far back as 2018. Now, according to new court papers that have surfaced, Abrego Garcia's wife has an ex, and he filed papers against Abrego Garcia over seeking an emergency hearing to get custody of his 2 kids, not Abrego Garcia's. Now, I got to tell you, I come from the school of if it looks like a wolf and howls like a wolf, smells like a wolf, it's a damn wolf. Now, this dude the Democrats have made their poster boy for due process. He's where he belongs right now in El Salvador. They just want to bring him back, give him a court date, and send him back. Okay, fine. We want to play games, want to spend the money on that. This is what they're up to. But, what is it with Democrats? No new ideas. They just want to constantly just push back and they're like spoiled kids.
Democrats are as useless as an empty canteen at Death Valley in July.
Oh, I say bingo to that, Alexa. All right, a Michigan Democrat, Representative Shari Tenadar, has filed articles of impeachment for Donald Trump, stating he's doing real damage to America. Now, let me ask, do you think Joe Biden was giving us all a 4-year pickle tickle when he was in office? So here we go again with Democrats throwing up roadblocks like they did from 2016 to 2020 to sidetrack Trump's progress. Now, first off, any attack on Trump is an attack on the 77-plus million people who voted for him. We will not forget in 2026 or 2028. We elected this man to do what he is doing right now. Now, just because the Democrats don't like it, it's not grounds for impeachment. They're just blowing smoke up your rear end. Now, if you remember a few episodes back, I introduced you to the 5 Ds of being a Democrat and told you to read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. Then you'll have the Democrats playbook. They talked about, what was it, 2025? Something like that during the campaign. But this is really the Democrats' playbook, Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. Now, if you missed the 5 Ds, I'll give them to you again. They are deny, distract, deflect, divide, and demonize. You can take a pick, any one of those 5. All 5 are in play right now. This party has no ideas. They just piss and moan, bitch, complain, and protest. They call it pushing. We got to push back. Now, how in the hell does this move the country forward?
Democrats are as useless as an anus hole on a mannequin.
Oh, golly, Alexa, I have to agree with you on that one. All right, here's some good news. During Trump's first 100 days, 9 illegal immigrants were released into the United States. That is a 99.9% drop from the same period during Biden's first 100 days when he allowed in 184,000 illegal immigrants to cross our border. So what do the Democrats want to do again? Let's impeach Trump. That makes so much sense. These nimrods. You know what? If you don't vote these bastards out in 2026 at all levels of government, you really get what you deserve, America.
Democrats are as worthless as boobs on a man.
Touche, Alexa. Golly, she's hot today, isn't she? All right, this could be fun. According to trial lawyer Jeffrey Fisher, he says you can always tell when somebody's lying if people rely on absolute words like never or always, and their denial. Now, for an example, you might ask somebody, were you texting while you were driving before the accident? Now, if they answer like something, no, never text. I never text when I drive. Never is considered to be an extreme word, which raises a red flag that person is probably, lying their ass off.
He's completely disease-free. Here's Mojo Elliott with Rat Sports.
Like I said, Alexa's hot today. All right, a few jagoffs in L.A. vandalized a memorial dedicated to the late Kobe Bryant and Gigi Bryant in downtown Los Angeles. And guess who stepped up? Not the Lakers, not LeBron James. It was Luka Doncic. He covered the entire cost to restore the memorial. Apparently, Luka was a big fan of Kobe growing up. Now, if you happen to see Luka out in a pub somewhere in L.A., you got to buy that guy a beer. I know I certainly would. All right, let's see how I'm doing with my NBA and NHL playoff picks. Indiana bounced Milwaukee last night from the playoffs. Guess who took Indiana? I did. Boston eliminated Orlando. And guess who took Boston? I did. Detroit knocked off the Knicks. The Knicks lead that series 3-2. They're going to go to Detroit and play Game 6 and back to New York for Game 7, possibly. And God, I love Game 7s, and I did take New York in this series. Denver beat the LA Clippers to take a 3-2 lead in that series. And I took the Clippers, not Denver. All right, tonight, the Lakers host Minnesota at the Crypt. LeBron James, you're down 3-1. What's the plan, my man?
Obviously, you don't think about winning 3. You think about just getting the next one. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing that matters because if not, obviously, the offseason begins, so...
Yeah. LeBron with a keen eye for the obvious. All right, the only way the Lakers have a chance, first of all, they got to win tonight. Like you said, game by game. They go to Minnesota. That's the big one. They're a lousy road team. They've got to win one in Minnesota and then bring it back to L.A. for Game 7. They're a great road. They've been great at home all season. So I still think they have a chance, or maybe I'm a bit deranged, but I took the Lakers in this series. All right, Golden State can eliminate Houston tonight. The Warriors are up 3-1, and I took Houston because I don't like Steve Kerr. I was like, damn, I might have taken the wrong team. Might have. I took youth over Curry, Butler, and Green.
Uh-oh. We got a moron here. Is that it?
Yeah, appears so. I am the moron. Oklahoma City and Cleveland won their series, and I did take both the Thunder and Cavaliers, so I'm not that bad off. But in the NHL playoffs, all of the first-round matches are still being worked out. Carolina did eliminate New Jersey last night, and guess who took Carolina? I did. Toronto leads Ottawa 3-2. I took Toronto in that series. Las Vegas beat Minnesota to go up 3-2 in that series. I took Las Vegas. Edmonton skated past the LA Kings to take a 3-2 lead in that series. And guess who took Edmonton? I did. All right, but you can get my playoff picks if you want for the NBA and NHL playoffs on the Rat's Ass Podcast blog at ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com. And that's sports on the Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, today we're going to play Pick Your News. I'm going to give you 4 headlines, and you have to figure out the true headline. All right, number 1. I'm only going to do these one time, so you got to listen up. The illegal immigrant who stole Kristi Noem's purse was arrested again for stealing matching shoes. A New York man escapes a polar bear attack by jumping on a snowmobile and speeding off. President Trump celebrates his first 100 days by busting out a top rock, down rock power move and a freeze at a Michigan rally. And just checking in is considered to be the worst phrase to use in an email. Kick that around, marinate on it, and I'll have the answer for you coming up a little bit later on the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
You bet your sweet ass it is. All right, here's what's happening on the Rat's Ass Podcast X feed. We call it Saw It on the X. Dollar Bill posted this one. He said, "Where is the strangest place you've ever had to drop an emergency deuce?" All right, Scotty Harmon said, "In a confessional, during a confession, I was confessing something I did, and before I knew it, my pants were loading up." God, I bet the priest thought Satan was paying Scotty a visit on that one. All right, Lori Van Dyke said, "In the back of a New York City bus while a homeless man watched. But you know what? When Mother Nature calls, what are you going to do?" Hey, I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, on a New York City bus, I'm sure the homeless guy probably thought it was just air freshener. All right, Teddy Hines said, I had to I had to hang my ass out of a moving car once and let it fly. He said, and yes, one of the bombs hit the window of the car behind me. Now, you got to picture this one. What if the two guys in the back of the car were two illegals? One said, "Hey, Jose, did you see the dick on that fly?"
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
Oh, man, could you imagine that hitting your windshield? Oh, turn on the windshield wipers. Ooh, get you a little squishy. All right, Paris Hilton is back in the news. She's got a new perfume called the Ruby Rush. She introduced this to a group of attendees at Stagecoach 2025. She did one of her chilled DJ sets and made an appearance with Lizzo, and everybody thought they were twins. Okay, I made that up. But Kanye West told Paris that he wanted to have babies with her. And Paris said, yeah, who's the gold digger now? Now, I got to tell you, I've always had a thing for Paris Hilton. I think I'm going to go out and get me some of that Ruby Rush and give my family jewels a spritz. All right, the Connors TV show just had its series finale, and the show paid tribute to Roseanne Barr with a graveyard visit. How nice. Roseanne was the original creator of the show, and if you know the story, ABC fired her for being politically incorrect because she supported Donald Trump and did a really funky tweet back in 2018. So they dumped her, and they relaunched the show as The Connors in 2018. Now, reports say Roseanne never watched an episode of the show, didn't even know the finale was taking place, and judging by the ratings, nobody else knew there was a finale going on either. All right, John Bon Jovi and his wife celebrated their 36th wedding anniversary. Congratulations. But this comes 1 year after he confessed that he was a conniving, cheating bastard. John and Dorothea are said to be halfway there, still living on a prayer, and he has no longer wanted dead or alive. Translated, that means Dorothea has removed the genital cuff from John. All right, HGTV's Christina Hack is denying reports that she was hooking up with her current boyfriend, Chris LaRocca, while she was still married to Josh Hall. Now, LaRocca's ex said Hack and LaRocca had moved in together while Hall was back in Tennessee, and she was here in California. Now, naturally, Christina, who is in the middle of the divorce with Josh Hall, says it's not true. Absolutely not true. Denies it emphatically. Now, knowing that Christina has a certain zest for living, are we to believe that LaRocca and her are just doing some light spackling with no hammering? I'm guessing Chris has primed and painted that patio quite a few times, asking the question, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Hey, and by the way, Britney Spears has now been single for 71 days.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
Now, as you know, I do not read your emails in advance. Fleabag forwards me your name, where you're from, and edits them down so I can read them rapid fire and on the fly. Now, Randy A. from Stevens Point, Wisconsin asks, do you think it's a good idea for Trump to put faces on the illegals they've deported on posters surrounding the White House? Oh, hell yeah. It's a great idea. Let America see the faces of evil the Democrats have let into our country. Now, what really pisses me off about it is the liberal media, when they show this, they blur out the faces. So once again, they're helping the Democrats cover up. All right, Brenda B., Erie, Pennsylvania said, hey, Mo, you were a little off calculating Trump's 100 days, weren't you? Oh, you bet your sweet ass I was. On Monday, I said it was 97 days, and it should have been 99. I take full responsibility for my error, though. You know, I counted the days from January 20th and just screwed the pooch on that one. But thanks for calling me out, Brenda. Appreciate it. If we ever meet, I've got an atomic wedgie just with your name on it. All right, Jeff G., Starksville, Mississippi. How much are you involved with radio these days? Jeff, I hung them up in 2022. I'm always happy to help where I can with anybody or any company, but, for the most part, I am just enjoying being a podcaster and a blogging. I love to blog. Love for you to check it out, too, at ratsasspodcast.com. Throwing a quick plug again. All right, Brady K. from Richmond, Virginia said, I need help with my girlfriend. She's not giving it up and as much as she used to. She wants to wait until we get married. Really? She pulled the old give you a little taste of honey and got you hooked on that sweet stuff, huh? Now she's making you jump through hoops to get some honey. And you got the blue balls, don't you, buddy? Sound about right? Well, here's my advice for you. You got to swat that bee. Because girls who play games before marriage are going to put the old family jewels on the genital cuff when you get hitched. Eventually, you'll seek your entertainment elsewhere, get caught, and you'll have to give up half. All right, Melissa R., Park City, Utah. Did you see where Tyrus on Gutfeld said ICE should give the people they're deporting a court date to come back to America to eliminate the Democrats bitching about due process? What do you think about that? You know what, off the top, Melissa? I'd say, Tyrus, you magnificent son of a bitch. That's a great idea. You send them home to the country they came from with a court date, say, in 2033. Am I thinking about this right? And if they can't make it back, it's bye-bye, baby. Due process served. I like it. All right, Dennis G. from Rhodes, Greece said, I'm a new listener and wanted to let you know I've never heard anyone do a podcast like you. You cover so much stuff in 20 minutes and make it sound fun. Keep it up. Well, Dennis, first of all, Fleabag, that's not salacious or outrageous. It's very self-serving. But Dennis, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. That's the name of the game. If you listen for 20 minutes, I'll give you a ration of nonsense nobody gives a rat's ass about, so you can talk about it with your friends and family. And, Fleabag's over there giving me the finger. I don't know what it is. When people give me the finger, I take it as a compliment. All right, if you have any questions or comments, please send them to my producer, Fleabag, at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. And please, the more outrageous and salacious, the better. We like them outrageous, and we like them salacious. Yes, we do.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
You know what? We still got more show to go. I totally forgot.
Rat's Ass Podcast.
Yeah, you were waiting for this one. You thought I wasn't going to do it, didn't you? All right, today we're playing Pick Your News. I gave you 4 headlines, and you have to figure out the true headline. The illegal immigrant who stole Kristi Noem's purse was arrested for stealing matching shoes. A New York man escaped a polar bear attack by jumping on a snowmobile and speeding off. President Trump celebrates his first 100 days by busting out a top rock, down rock power move and a freeze at a Michigan rally. And just checking in is considered to be the worst phrase to use in an email. What do you think it is? I'll tell you right now, it wasn't a New York man who escaped the polar bear attack. It was a Norwegian man, which means number 4, just checking in, is considered to be the worst phrase to use in an email. Now, if you said that, good job. If you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, today I get to go for a mud bath. I got one of those scheduled today, so I got a split. So I'm sorry for sounding like I'm rushed. But I do have one more thing for you. Did you know, in a room of 23 people, there is a 50-50 chance there are two people who share the same birth date. It's known as the birthday paradox. So if you're in a room with 23 people right now, do a poll, find out. Now, oddly enough, Fleabag, he got the job as my producer because we share the same birthday. Do you know what my birthday is? Huh? Do you know? It is February 29th. So is Fleabag's. What are the odds?
That's a ginormous chunk of rancid baloney, dude.
Oh, I got something ginormous for you, Alexa. Have you ever heard of the slippery salami?
Okay, Mr. Filthy Mouth, do your shout-outs to Rat Nation.
Oh, I've always got time to mess with Alexa. All right, welcome to Rat Nation. Gulliver Sachs from Pensacola, Florida. Remy Vanderhoof from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Luke Myers from Laredo, Texas. And to the Resistance, Brad W., Auburn, Maine. And Cameron G. from Hobbs, New Mexico. And around the world to listeners in Germany, Switzerland, and Brazil. All right, that's going to do it today for the Rat's Ass Podcast. Be sure to check out the new ratsasspodcast.com to connect with us on the socials, listen to the podcasts. You can join Rat Nation and read the blog. It's loaded with current events, pop culture, music, concert, tour information. We got the Radio Wars, sports, our Q&A, sex and relationships, plus the Dumbass Award so far for 2025. We'll do this again on Friday, May 2nd, to get you ready for the weekend. Take care of each other, and thanks for checking out The Rat.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.